Hello, what's up? My name is Akon and I specialize in relationships. Today I want to talk to you guys about communication and what that has to do with relationships. Right now it's super hot where I am. I'm not really complaining, but if you guys see my face super oily and like just shining in all kind of places, that's why. So just allow it. So communication. Communication is actually the purpose of relationships. Um, there's no point in being in a relationship if you don't intend on communicating with the other person. But first of all, let's talk about what is communication, because we all know how to speak, we all know how to talk, we all know how to do actions, but I don't think many of us know what it actually means to communicate. What communication is, it's a two-way road. There's giving communication and receiving communication. There's sending messages, and then there's also receiving messages. In order to properly communicate, you have to do both. You have to be willing to give communication, and you have to be willing to receive communication as well. Otherwise, the relationship that you're in, no matter what kind of a relationship, is not going to work. If you choose to simply just receive information from the other person, from the person that you love, and just kind of go and agree with everything that they say, there's no communication there, because you have to have an opinion as well in order for there to be great communication. Because as much as we are all very similar, we're also very different at the same time. And if we just pretend like we're okay with everything that another person says or does, that's just not true. And eventually lying like that to ourselves is going to catch up to us, and that's what's going to create problems. And then we're going to start to blame the other person, thinking they're the ones who are enforcing their rules or their ideas on us, but really we never communicated what it is that we want, and we expected them to know what it is that we want. Maybe we've been together for so long and we're like, oh, they should know me by now, how come they're not letting me do what I want? And the reason is because you did not clearly communicate what it is you wanted to do. Yes. So yeah, that's communication. That's what it is. So if there's no messages being sent and there's no messages being received, then there's no proper communication. If you are saying yes to everything, there's no proper communication. If you're saying no to everything, there's no proper communication. There has to be discussion, and there's a lot of things that go into communicating properly. Because at the same time, we can talk to each other. Sometimes we have something to say. Sometimes we know exactly what we want to say to somebody. We go and we tell them, and then it turns out at the end that now the other person or now there's like a whole argument going on. You know, like we knew what we wanted. We went and expressed it, and now there's a problem. So to kind of to reduce the likelihood of there being a problem, there's a way to communicate as well. You know, I'm sure a lot of you guys heard, it's not what you say, it's the way that you say it. And the way that you say it is everything in communication. Otherwise, sometimes the person can't even hear you, because a lot of times everyone is, well, all the time really, everyone is filtering whatever you're saying through their own perspective and through what it means to them. So you can say one word, but in their minds it's something completely different. And when that happens, that can create a problem. And you'll find yourselves fighting over something that was never even part of the conversation in the first place. So that's why it's always important to really communicate well and clearly and compassionately. So that's communication, and that's really the only way to ensure that your messages get sent out properly. You know, there is a proper way to do it, and there's a way that's just not going to serve you. And yeah, so that's what communication is. So why? Why should you communicate? Well, like the alternative of not communicating is you not getting what you want. As simple as that. If you don't communicate, you're not going to get what you want. There's zero chances of that. But if you do communicate, then that chance starts to get bigger and bigger and bigger, and then you start to get more of what you want all the time. And I'm sure you guys in a relationship, or those who want to be in a relationship, want to be in a relationship where you can have what you want in that relationship, not just do what you think you have to do. Communication, there's nothing you have to do in any relationship. There's things that you choose to do so it can function smoothly, so you guys can both be healthy, but there's no have to do's. And if you feel like there's something you have to do, and especially if that thing makes you upset or angry or resentment, that's a road that you don't want to be in for a long time, because then that's going to start manifesting in different ways. You can start manifesting as like illnesses, as, you know, getting upset, getting angry, just creating problems, or finding it starts to manifest as like picking problems over small little things, when in fact there was a larger issue that was never addressed, that you just kept repressing, and boom, all of a sudden you're fighting over the toilet paper roll. So super important. If you want to have a healthy, satisfying relationship, communication is super key. If you have any questions about relationships, any specific topics you want me to talk about regarding relationships, let me know. Your comments, yeah, put them in the comment section so I can read them, and then I'll address that specifically and I'll talk about that. Thanks for watching, and I'll see you guys on the next video.